are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time, don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate. And learn to cooperate.
We're doing it vertical tonight, guys. We're going vertical. We're going to try it out, see what's up. You all tell me what y'all thinking. I'm seeing here we got Charlie Stamey Sr. I really need some help. I have two 13-year-old kitties. One male, one female, both suffer from itchy skin and I believe bad gut health. I saw your recipe for this issue. Can you please email or chat my recipe? Here's the deal, guys. I get this quite a bit. I need you guys to let me know what's up. Maybe I'm in the wrong. But if you're watching the video, if you're watching the short or you're watching the video's giving you the recipe. I'm not going to, sit there and message each person exclusively. That's the reason for the video, for you to sit there and see how I elaborate it. You can sit down and write down the recipe and make it happen. So I hope I'm not coming across as a bad guy. I just, I'm making the video. It's either in the short or in the video. Check it out. The recipe's there. We got Shade Tree saying, I've got my notifications on. Hit the share. There you go. Took your advice, Raul, and have been soft sponging my bully's eyes, and don't stop there. It works like you said it would. I just want to share that. Well, thank you so much. And she's been doing it with the chamomile tea, pure chamomile. I was going to bring the sprayer. We're going to talk tonight because I keep getting hit up on yeast infections. I'm going to show you guys 3 things that you can do that will stave off 90% of the yeast infection out there. Okay, the majority of yeast infection attacks your dog through a particular yeast called Malassezia. Okay, the other type of yeast is called Candida, and that one has a lot less incidence than Malassezia. And the reason it has a lot less incidence is because by the time your dog has Candida, what it means is that your dog is immunocompromised. That means your dog's immune system, and you can probably see Candida mostly with either older dogs, younger dogs, and a dog somewhere in the middle that's having some sort of immune issue. When the dog becomes immunocompromised, yes, Candida can actually affect them, but unfortunately, it opens them up to other things, including cancer. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. Let me get here to this message. Carlos James DJ Majesty. I gave my dogs raw chicken for the first time. I gave them drumstick. I pulled out the fibula. Now, why would you pull out the fibula, brother? Honestly, inside of the fibula, that's where you're going to get the good stuff. You're going to be getting things like the bone marrow, which you really want. Plus, there's calcium and phosphorus on the bone, and on the tip of a lot of bones, not all bones. You will also get chondroitin, glucosamine in the joints. So that's something that surprises me that you would want to take that out. Are you afraid? Are you afraid that your dog would I'm trying to move the comments down, guys, so just give me a second. Are you concerned that your dog is going to maybe choke on something in particular, or something to the like? Because in reality, I'm letting you guys know, if your dog is over 4.5 months old, and of course it's not a toy breed, it's not like a little 10-pound dog or anything like that. If your dog is, let's say, after 4.5 months, your dog is, 35, 40 pounds, second set of teeth have come in, at least for us, they break bone, man. And they eat it, and it's so healthy for them, and it's so good for them. And you could see it in everything. Here's the beauty about it too. When they poop, right? I don't want to talk too much about poop because I know it's nasty, but just hear me out. If you're giving too much bone, you're going to know because the poop's going to start turning white on you. And that means, hey, bro, slow down on the bone. You want to go maybe a little bit more protein, a little bit more fat, so on and so forth. Let's see here. Good evening, everybody. In Serrata, most hated. Haven't seen you for a minute. Carmelo and Chica, happy Friday, Bully fan. Man, Raul, you're the man when it came down to the cure of yeast. Well, look, guys, listen. Here's the deal, right? Here's the deal, and I appreciate your comment. But here's the deal. I live in southeast Texas. Literally, we're next to the Louisiana swamps, if you will, and I feel that I live in the swamps myself. In addition to that, because of this particular year, there's been a higher incidence of humidity. I don't know if you guys would agree with me, but at least for us, we're seeing more and more humidity out here, to the point where I'm going to tell you the 3 things that you can do to combat yeast, and it's going to be 90% effective. There's always that 10% that is out of everybody's hands, okay? But it's going to be 90% effective. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to grab a cup and you're going to add half water and half vinegar. Apple cider vinegar, white vinegar, it doesn't matter. It could be either. If you prefer apple cider, that's fine. But I'm just, for the sake of letting you know, it could be either. Okay, you pour half and half, and let me take it all back. I just confused myself. So what I want you to do is get a cup, put 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, apple cider or white vinegar, and about half a part alcohol, okay? Or if you don't want to do alcohol, you could use witch hazel, okay? Why? Why are you telling me to do this? Because witch hazel and that amount of alcohol will act as an astringent. And what an astringent does is it stretches out all the tissue in the area. This is important because if your dog has inflammation inside of the ear, it's going to be nearly impossible for you to get your finger down there inside of the paper towel to clean. And it's going to become very uncomfortable for the dog. They're really not going to like it, right? So what I have been doing, and it has, again, we're in constant evolution here. What I've been doing is I literally will spray it in the ear, and my dog will do this and that. But the reason I'm spraying it in the ear is so I could get the astringent effect in the ear so it could stretch out. So if there's any inflammation in there, it brings it down. Then after about 2 or 3 minutes, I'll go ahead and grab a paper towel. I'll spray it on the paper towel, and then I'm going in. I do this daily. This year, I've had to do it. This year, I was actually doing it a week apart. I want to say the last 2 weeks, I've had to do it daily. Why? We're hitting 100. Today, we hit 102 sustained 98 degree Fahrenheit with over 50% humidity. It's, literally you could cut the humidity out with a knife. That's how thick it is. And that's what's getting into your dog's ears, right? And that moisture there, right? Think about it. Inside of the ear, all the way down there, it's a dark, moist place. And the moisture is being put because of the humidity in the atmosphere. So it lends itself for yeast to grow and bacteria to grow, right? Because they will go in hand. The minute that skin gets broken inside, what ends up happening is you're going to have opportunistic bacteria that's already there and or yeast going at it. And it's a disaster. So these past 2 weeks, we've had to go every single day into the ear and just clean it. Boom, 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 boom. First couple of times, your dog is not going to like it. Another reason why I said alcohol at first, I said 1 part water, 1 part apple cider or white vinegar, and then I said one half part alcohol, is because the alcohol is going to help dehydrate whatever's left in there. We want to dehydrate things. We don't want anything in the ear to remain moist. even if it is apple cider vinegar. If you're soaking the ear with apple cider vinegar and you're leaving it in there, what ends up happening with time is these bacteria are going to find a way to start eating the apple cider vinegar. And next thing you know, the apple cider vinegar is not going to be as effective, right? So that's why you need something that's going to dehydrate whatever you put in there. This is why we put alcohol. I also understand that some dogs are just not going to tolerate it or don't like it. And so you could also, instead of using alcohol, you could use witch hazel. And like I said, just half a part. Let me go here real quick to some comments. We got Donald Thomas in the house. We got Charles Stamey Sr. What's going on, man? We got QBN Kennel. That's right, Donald Thomas. Shay Tree. She says, You're the good guy, Ralph. Thank you, Shay. Half Kennel says, yo, I got a female almost 3 weeks pregnant, not wanting to eat much. What would be the best food to give her? Listen, I have a female right now that coincidentally we went in today and we counted pups. We did an x-ray. Super excited. We're going in either Monday or Tuesday for a C-section. What I've had her on, man, listen, I just made this recipe right here. We did a video this week. It's fast and easy to make, okay? It's a high protein recipe. Now, we like to feed this to our pregnant females. Why? Because their protein demands are through the roof, right? Because they got these little animals inside of them, which act like parasites in the sense that they're taken away from her nutrition, right? And so you ever seen puppies that are born, and they're just gigantic, well-fed pups? Well, it's because they're being fed a good amount of fat, the right amount of fat, protein, right? And you're being consistent with it. In this particular recipe, we actually did rabbit and chicken. And I also tried out this new little grinder, little small grinder I bought for $200, and it works great. And the reason that I bought it, was exclusive to my pregnant female and also her upcoming puppies. Why? Because I had bought this $1,100 elaborate grinder, and it works great. Don't get me wrong. Only problem I have with it is that if I have one female that's going to be eating what I'm about to tell you, or two, I really don't want to take out this big, heavy thing to do that. So it's a lot easier to manage a smaller one. So we went ahead and fed our female rabbit and chicken, but you could just as easily just feed chicken with bones and all, because that's a grinder. So it grinds the bones down to like a fine sand. And you'd be surprised the amount of nutrients you're throwing away when you don't give your dog bones. By the way, never give your dog cooked bones. They splinter, right? You want to make sure the bones that you're giving are completely raw, okay? Now, with that being said, if you have a pregnant female and you don't want a scenario where you have to be deworming her or anything like that because of the puppies, that to me, that's very understandable. What you can do is what I did, which is I cut up the rabbit, I cut up the chicken, I ground it, right? I put it through the grinder. Then I put it into an Instapot, right? Cut me up some pumpkin, cut me up some carrots, threw in some kale, some cilantro, added some water. And man, let me tell you, a little bit later, it was amazing. And we do this. Now, we don't do this every day with a rabbit. I'm going to be very honest with you. But with chicken, that's what I've been feeding my pregnant girl is we'll get 1.5 chicken quarters, chop it up, put it through the grinder, grab that, put it in the pot, put some kale, put some, depending what's going on, because pumpkin, for example, is the one thing we added in this particular recipe. If you see the pumpkin over here at the end, it's really important because people talk about pumpkin all the time, and pumpkin is great. In fact, I would dare to say it's one of the vegetables, when available, that I will mostly rely on. And the reason for that is that raw pumpkin has probiotics in there that are great for the dog's gut, right? It's got little bacteria, little microorganisms that is great for the dog's gut. So it is important to understand what I'm about to say, because if you have a dog with diarrhea, okay, one of the ways that you want to give pumpkin is in puree form, because pumpkin has probiotics, but it's also high in fiber. And what fiber does in the gut is it sucks away all that water and tries to help the body make that poop a little bit more consistent. However, if your dog is constipated, and it happens a lot to pregnant females, if your dog is constipated, then you want to give the pumpkin raw, right? Because those probiotics are going to help break things down and smooth the poop out. Not only that, it's also going to draw a little bit more water from the body. Okay, so just keep that in mind. I've been skipping over some comments here. I'm not skipping, I'm just behind a little bit. Okay. I reported. Okay, half a die infamous. What's going on, man? Gyra Grimm. What's going on, Gyra? Number love, man. Pickle Gaming. What's up? Okay. More Cash says, would you get a Merle Bully? Why or why not? Let's see. You must not know. I have a Merle Bully. This is my boy Congo. And I don't see anything wrong with having a Merle, except you must be knowledgeable in how to breed a Merle. Okay. So we're not going to dive into all that, because that could take up the whole live, but we have plenty of videos that breaks down how you breed Merles. You never breed a dog that has a genetic DNA test that says Merle on it to another dog that is also Merle, visibly Merle, or has it on a DNA test. And the reason for that is you have a loss or a disbursement of melanin that is needed for the eyes and ears, but it's also needed for the heart and liver, spleen, other organs. So just threw that real quick at you. We got me. Can my French handle a raw drumstick or thigh? Probably not. I have a Frenchie. She would not be able to handle it. And so that's why you would use a grinder. The grinder, you could just grind everything down and give it to her, and you shouldn't have an issue, but make sure that the bones are ground down to like a fine sand. EJ, what's going on, man? EJ, number love. Thank you so much. All the way from California. Sally Adams, good evening, fam. Hello, sweet bullies. Miss Sally Adams, number love. Thank you for joining us. Ira Lawman, good evening. What's going on, man? We got Brother Bakery. Salute, most hated. Been busy whelping my second litter. No, I hear you, man. I'm getting ready to whelp. It's been about a minute. I'm getting ready here. We got George Melgar. Thanks to you, I'm curing the yeast as well. Has changed his food to members Marcos, salmon and green peas. You mean salmon and sweet potato. However, now he has flaky skin, and on his spine, I guess, is breaking out with pimples and losing a lot of hair. Okay, so George, this is an excellent comment. My recommendation for you, George, is just hear me out, George. I promise you're going to save so much money, it's not even going to be funny. Okay. Transition from kibble to raw. Yes, kibble to raw. Okay. If you haven't watched our raw videos, please do so. If you don't want to do raw, we have plenty of videos, like the video we just recently dropped, that has cooked recipes. By the way, anything raw can also be cooked. The only difference is the bones, you need to put them through the grinder, because you're not going to feed cooked bone to the dog, right? So I want you to do that. I want you to, I said, go ahead and switch from kibble to raw. I want you to bathe your dog with either vinegar and water or water and baking soda. Okay, to get them nice and cleaned out. And in addition, right, I'm gonna throw something at you. And it's none other than Nuvet and NuJoint DS. Green bottles, multivitamin, blue bottles, joint support. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because I want you to go raw, but I don't want you to feed organ meat. I don't want you to feed, well, let me take that back. Not organ meat. I don't want you to feed liver in particular, not from chicken, from beef, or any other animal out there. It's because of the amount of steroids and growth hormones they're putting into our animals. Don't want to be giving that to your dog, and 3 years later, they're walking around with a tumor on their neck. Okay? So my suggestion would be put them on raw, substitute your liver with Nuvet NuJoint DS, turn right back around, and do buy, and you can give kidney livers. I'm sorry, beef kidneys. Beef kidneys, that is something you could chop up and you can give to your dog. Okay. They don't, obviously, they're getting rid of stuff. They're not retaining stuff like the liver does. Ira Lawman, yes, you're the yeast killer. Baltimore right now, 82% humidity. Yeah. Listen, guys, I've been breeding for 10 years. It doesn't make me an expert, but definitely gives me a leg up on experience on dealing with this stuff. And if you do not understand that you have to go in the ear every day, like you're saying right now, Baltimore, 82% humidity. I believe it. You guys are right next to the ocean. So I will be going in that ear every single morning or every single afternoon or whenever you feel is appropriate with half water, half vinegar, and an astringent. It could be half part alcohol, rubbing alcohol, or half part witch hazel. Okay. I would do that on a consistent basis. And that's going to keep yeast at bay in the ears up to 90%. There's going to be always that exception to the rule, guys. There's nothing I can do about that. There's always going to be that 10% that's still going to get it. But that should help. The other part of the coin is that yeast is fed from the inside. So if you're feeding, listen, you don't have to be a genius. Grab the bag, turn it over, look at the ingredients. If you start reading ingredients and you start reading things that say beet pulp, cane pulp, corn, wheat, soy, stop for a minute. We're dealing with a carnivore. Are we feeding cereal or are we baking a cake? Right? That's exactly what you don't want to be giving your dog on a consistent basis, because then you can be feeding the yeast regardless of how you're trying to clear the symptoms, because that's what we do with the bathing. The other thing, number two, I already told you, first thing, apple cider vinegar or white vinegar, water, and then I said half part alcohol or witch hazel. The next thing that is super powerful in getting rid of yeast is a dehumidifier. It dehumidifies, takes the humidity away, relative humidity away from whatever room you're in, right? Now, if your dog's going to be 99% of the time in the living room, it makes no sense to have a small dehumidifier in the bedroom. It makes no sense, right? So I'm going to tell y'all straight. You're probably going to have to put a dehumidifier in every single room, a bigger one in the bathroom, and a really big one in the living room. Okay. And if at all, if you could only buy one, make it the biggest one that you can for the living room. And that's it. And not only are you getting rid of yeast with the dehumidifier, you're getting rid of fleas, you're getting rid of ticks, you're getting rid of just about even mites, because they have an exoskeleton. And when it becomes too dry, they can't live. Their exoskeleton cracks and they die. So what do you think happens when your dog walks out in the yard, high humid yard, by the way, and comes back in with a flea or two, and all of a sudden when they get in there, they can't breathe because it's a little too dry for them. They're gonna jump right off. They're gonna try to get out of your house. That's what they're gonna try and do. And if they don't get out in a fast enough way, they're gonna get killed. And that's essentially what you want. And also, if they happen to lay eggs, you're also able to dehydrate eggs. How about that? So, congrats. Most hated says Infamous. You got it, man. Ohio Bully Camp. Do you have a cure for Giardia? Absolutely. Absolutely. If you guys don't know what he's talking about, Giardia, right? Usually comes along with something else called coccidia. Okay, so Giardia and coccidia, right? If I remember correctly, coccidia is an amoeba, right? Giardia, I want to say it's I don't want to say it because I'm gonna sound silly. I want to say it's a parasite, but I'll tell you right now what it is. Yep, it is a parasite. So the way you attack this, the way I have attacked it, is with something called, well, in the medical field, we call it Bactrim, right? And what it is something, it's got a funny little name, is sulfamethoxazole, right? And then it's got a little dash, and it's going to say triproprim, because these two medications together, they're put together in order to attack a lot of these things. So the sulfamethoxazole with triproprim is really effective against coccidia. Giardia, right? They're brother and sister. A lot of times when you get coccidia, you get Giardia. Giardia, metronidazole, which is an antibiotic for intestines, right? Now, very important, right? Because I'm giving out this information, but it's very important because I already know what you want to know. So what's the dosage, right? So hold on, I'm going to get there. It's very important that you comprehend that I like to give antibiotics and sulfa drugs to my dogs, simply because, I mean, I'm a nurse. That doesn't mean I'm a veterinarian, but I understand what's going on. I know what they're getting, and I know how to give it. Really important, right? So you need to look up dosages online. I can't sit here and tell you dosage because I'm not a veterinarian, right? But they're not difficult to find. You can literally go to Google and you can find this stuff. Now, so Ral, where do you get your antibiotics and your sulfa drugs and your this and your that if you're not getting a prescription from the vet? Well, first of all, let me say I'm getting it completely legal, right? And the way I do it is I order fish antibiotics and fish sulfa drugs. They sell them online, okay? And you could order them, and they're going to ship it to you. Now, really important you understand this. Fish live in water, right? So these medications, when they're sent to you, they're water soluble, right? So literally you break them open and you spread them in the water and they dissolve in the water. If you feed that directly to your dog, it's not going to work, because once it gets to the stomach, instead of water, it's going to be stomach acids and it's going to destroy everything. So the way we circumvent that is we grab cheese, we melt it in the microwave for 10 seconds or so. We throw whatever antibiotic, we put them in there. If it's a pill, a capsule, whatever, we put it there and we cover it up like a spaceship. Kind of like how when you're trying to give something to kids. And then we give it to the dog, because now that the stomach acid, right, is going to be resistant by the cheese, right? And it's going to allow it to pass the stomach and go into the intestine. That's where we want the body to break down that cheese and get to the antibiotic or sulfa drug or whatever and consume it. Okay. So I just thought I'd throw that out there, man. Paris Tito says, thank you, man. You're the godfather of dogs. I've always said that when people say these things is because you earn it. How stupid would it be if I came out here and I said, I'm the dog father? Like, that's not the way how things roll, man. People got to give it to you. You just don't go out there and announce you're something that, people haven't given to you. That's all I got to say about that. Freedom Streamer, what's up, Bully fam? There you go, Ira. She is saying, my pup keeps shaking her head, but nothing in there. Okay, Ira, if your dog is shaking their head, it could be many things. However, it wouldn't hurt to do what I said with the water, the vinegar, and then the astringent. It just wouldn't hurt. I'm just throwing that out there. Ohio, yeah, I believe I just spoke about that. By the way, Ohio, metronidazole is going to help with giardia. It's also going to help with coccidia. Let me just say this real quick. The way dogs usually pick up these two things is with contaminated water. It's when it comes in contact with feces. This is why it's important. You never let your pups or your dogs or whoever drink out of a puddle, right? You drink out of puddles, you're asking for it. Judith Harris, hi, can we apply the same for paws? Judith, can you be a little bit more specific as far as what you're applying on the paws? I'm a little behind in the conversation, so if you could repeat that, I'll be more than happy to respond. Dracula, what's going on? Santana, Sally Adams says, yeast is a fungus, and fungus thrives in warm, damp conditions. Your dog ears mostly. Yep. She's absolutely right. If you notice, it's usually the dog ears and the armpits. Nice, dark, wet place. I see my 14-year-old has some kind of skin issue, some type of yeast bacteria in the stomach area and the back now. I try to reach out from the other night. I just got the supplements to see if that helps. Skin issue, some type of yeast / bacteria in the stomach area and the back now. Yeah, I see. I strongly recommend you watch my Get Rid of Yeast playlist. It's really going to do wonders for you, man. I know we're in the era where we just want to flip through the phone and get a dopamine fix. But if you're having this issue, I strongly recommend you watch the whole playlist, because it may be the food, it may be environmental, it may be so many different things. I really can't answer everything right here on this live, but you can definitely watch it in the video. All right. Louis DeMille saying, evening, what's going on? We got Dominga saying hi from Dominican Republic, la República Dominicana. ¿Cómo está mi gente por allá? We got Marie Forshaw. I've got a 6-week-old pregnant female with yeast infection in her ear. What's safe to treat this? I've already spoken about it. Do rewind. Water, vinegar, astringent. Just rewind and you're going to see. So you say mix half and all of the 3 ingredients. What I'm saying is 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, 1/2 part either alcohol or witch hazel. Most hated, I see. Have you tried Nuvet NuJoint DS? They work miracles. I'm telling you, guys, I'm telling you right now, this stuff right here, by the way, my ordering code is down there, 513237. Recently, I got bombarded. I'm going to tell you guys why I got bombarded, and I want to know what you think. So recently, I had a guy write to me, and, you know, he had a situation with one of his dogs, and, you know, like many people do. But you could only imagine, I get quite a few messages. You also got to realize I run a yard. I have a pregnant female right now. I've been having to, you know, be on top of she is not eating what everybody else is eating. So I'm making special preparations. It's just that she takes a little bit more of my time. I'm also dropping social media, and I come on live on Mondays and Fridays at 8 p.m. CST to answer questions like we're doing now. Well, this gentleman decided that because I told him to become a channel member, you know, I'm too big for my britches. And no, I'm not too big for my britches. If you've noticed, the majority of the people I've answered tonight, like this person right here, is not even a member. They don't have the little symbol by their name. It's just that tonight and Monday is when I'm able to dedicate my time to answer questions. Then he got into the whole manipulation tactic of, you know, no, you need to help me for free in order for me to think good of you. I'm going to tell you guys something. I don't know about anybody else out here in this social media world or whatnot. My time is valuable. I'm going to give you insight that I've used myself, and powerful stuff that, you know, 99.9% of the majority of the people on social media are not even talking about. If I'm telling you that for $5 a month, you could be a member of this channel and we could have this conversation. And if you need to hit me up and text me and I need to give you an answer, I'm going to make it happen for you. That's how I roll, man. If you're used to free, gimme, I just may not be that guy. That just may not be me. Just throwing that out there, man. Just keeping it real. I will come on here. I will answer free of charge non-member questions like these right here. But at the end of the day, if I'm running short on time, right? If I'm running short on time, my members, the people that's got that little sign by their name, they're going to come first. It's just, I'm sorry, guys, it's life. All right. So let's see. Okay. So here we go. Richard Arguello. No, it is not safe. No, it is not safe to use alcohol in dogs' ears. Alcohol can cause irritation, discomfort, and pain, and may lead to skin and ear infections by killing beneficial bacteria that help keep the ears healthy. It is generally advised to avoid using alcohol for cleaning your dog's ears due to these three risks. You know, in this social media day and age, Richard, by the way, thanks for your response. You don't necessarily have to agree with me. And the way you responded, I appreciate it because it is respectful. But I will say this, and this is not to you, Richard. This is to many people out there. I'll drop her short or I'll say something, and all of a sudden is, let's go real quick. First Google response, I mean, it's full-blown plagiarized. They copy it and they paste it because that makes them feel better that they were able to think that they could wag the finger at you. I'm not saying it's you, Richard. Here's the deal, guys. He is right. Alcohol can cause irritation. However, did you guys notice I said 1 part water, 1 part vinegar, whether white or apple cider, and then I said half a part alcohol, right? So it's in smaller amounts, and the reason that I'm putting it in smaller amounts is so that we don't cause a major irritation. But here's the kicker. If you don't use alcohol to put anything that has water in that ear, if it remains in there, the problem can become much worse when you don't dehydrate it. So if you don't want to use alcohol, fine. Grab yourself a hair dryer, lift up your dog's ear and hair dry it. And I want to hear how many people out here have been able to do that with their dog just sitting still, letting you do that. I'm just throwing that out there real quick, okay? Louis DeMille says, but when you cook the pumpkin, does it kill the probiotics and pumpkin and the good bacteria that's in the pumpkin? Yes, Louis DeMille. This is why, if you watched the video I did, actually, you know what? I think I did show that part at the end. So what I do, Louis, is I'll cook some pumpkin inside of the pot with the stuff I put in, but then I'm going to grab some raw pumpkin, just a little piece, and chop it up, and then I'm going to give that. So if I have a dog that's regular, no diarrhea, no constipation, I'm going to give both. I want the probiotic in there, but I also want the fiber, right? That's just it. So excellent question, man. We have Robert Randolph, okay. Miss Tiffany Bryan, I add green tripe to my Roddy's food. Helps a lot with digestion, absolutely. If you're able to get green tripe, not the type of tripe you get at Walmart, that's the white tripe. They got rid of all the good stuff, right? The green one, the one you find in like Mexican grocery stores, right? That's the really good one. That's the one you want to be feeding your dogs. By the way, guys, talking about dogs, if you haven't done so, make sure to download QBN app. If you want to know what's going on with my yard, we have everything here, okay, including you have links to this live, link to our shorts, links to polls, links to upcoming litters, yada, yada, yada. Make sure to download QBN app either in the App Store or Google Play Store. It is absolutely free. All right, let me go back to the comments, man. Let's see. All right, so I'm going to skip some people. Please don't get mad. I have to catch up to the comments. By the way, give us a like, give us a share. It doesn't cost you anything. Hold on. Let me see if I can put my little handy dandy little thing here. Boom, there it is. Give us a like, give us a share, man. Give us some love. Drop a comment. Help the algorithm. Help us out, right? All right, let's see. How to treat reoccurring. Guys, I have to skip a little bit, okay? How to treat reoccurring UTI. Allison Thomas. Allison, one of the ways we do it, if we see anything going on with UTIs, is I'll literally drive to either Walmart, CVS, Walgreens, doesn't matter. I would get cranberry as pure, 100% pure cranberry supplement, and I'll start adding that into the food. I usually do a cycle for about 10 days. It usually clears way before that, but I just keep doing it just to make sure we completely clear it. Lakea says, so no beef liver. That's new. No, that's not new. It might be new to you, but it's not new. I've been saying this now for years. And again, listen, it's completely subjective. If you feel that you want to feed beef liver because that's what, barf diet entails, which it does, I wouldn't disagree with you. By all means, go ahead. But if you're asking for my opinion is I will bypass either beef or chicken liver or any other liver for that matter, unless I know I'm getting it from an organic source. Why? Because growth hormones, okay, and steroids that are being put into these animals, it's going to end up in your dog. Do you really want to go that route and 3 or 4 years down the line, find out your dog has a tumor or something happening because of this stuff that they're putting in these animals? Remember, all that stuff ends up in the liver and right underneath the skin in the fat layer. That's the two places. So they're already getting underneath the fat layer. On top of that, you're going to hit them with the liver. That's just my decision not to. We got Tech with Lucas. How do you treat allergic reactions on the chest area? Vet suspects chicken allergy. All right, Tech, listen, I get this a lot. My dog's allergic to chicken. How do you know? Oh, because I feed him this bag of kibble that says chicken on there. Okay, here we go. Right, we're about to go down a rabbit hole. So I've done plenty of videos where I've reviewed kibble, right? And what we found is a lot of times it'll say chicken on there, and it ends up being chicken meal. Well, chicken meal, same thing. No, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing. Chicken meaning the muscular part of the chicken, or chicken meal meaning the skin with a little bit of the meat on there. Okay, there's a difference. I just said that the steroids and the growth hormones that are put into poultry and beef ends up in that fat layer right underneath the skin. Bells and whistles should be going off. You should be going straight to your bag right now and seeing if you got chicken meal. If you got chicken meal, or even worse, chicken byproduct, just so you know, we still don't know if it's the beak, the nails, the feathers. You just don't know. It's just a byproduct, right? Your dog may be allergic to that. Okay. Why? Because not only is that animal being given steroids and hormones, the way that kibble is processed through a protruder may also denature those proteins. And by the time it gets to your dog, it just doesn't work for your dog. Right? So what I tell people all the time is what I do to make sure that my dogs don't have a chicken allergy, we're going to eat chicken. And the only thing you're going to eat is chicken, water, and Nuvet. That's it. Okay. If you're showing me allergy is getting worse after about 5 days, now I'm suspecting you have a true chicken allergy. Okay. But there's still one other step I'm going to do. I'm going to pull the skin off of the chicken, and I'm just going to feed you this chicken without the skin. So if you think about it, it's a process of elimination, right? So basically, if we're taking you off of kibble with chicken that you're supposedly allergic to, I'm now going to put you just on chicken and water and Nuvet. The reason I'm doing that is because now I want to know if it's the processing, the protruder, and all that good stuff they do, or the stuff that, the chicken meal or byproduct that they're putting in that is affecting you or not. If I notice within 5 days you're improving and I'm feeding you chicken quarter that's got the skin, the meat, bone, the whole 9 yards, then I know full well you're not allergic to chicken. You're allergic to what's the supposed chicken inside of the kibble bag. See what I'm saying? If I'm feeding you the chicken quarter with the fat and the muscle and the bone, and you're still showing allergies, I'm now going to take the skin off, because I already told you that's where these hormones and steroids end up at. And we're going to feed you pure chicken. If you're not improving after that, then yes, I strongly suspect that you're allergic to chicken. Okay. But I will tell you this. I haven't had one person yet, and I've had people come to me with dogs that have fur, like no fur whatsoever. All the fur came off. They're red and pink everywhere underneath and whatnot. I haven't had one person going through that process of elimination that has gotten all the way to just chicken without the skin and said, oh yeah, they're still getting worse. It hasn't happened. It has not happened. So you could try it. That's all I can say. Let's see. Man, we got a lot of comments coming in. Guys, to be members of the channel, if you want to be members of the channel, we could always have this conversation. All you got to do, I'm going to go ahead and put it up here. All you got to do is go down to the description below of this video. You could be a member for as little as $5 a month. Support the channel. We could have one-on-one conversations. I'm going to be prioritizing your comments. Also, I've been getting hit up here recently with a lot of people that want me to be their mentor. We do have a mentorship program. It is in the same place where you go get the membership. You just got to see what it is that you want to get. If you want to get the gold membership, I'm going to give you 2 live streams a month. Plus, anytime you need to call, text, whatever, I'm there in your corner. Whether you're picking puppies, whether you need, you need me to help you set up your facilities, whatever the case may be, it's available. Take advantage of it if you need it. And lastly, I will say, if you decide that you need a consult from me because you just need me for that one time that you're going to pick puppies or whatever the case may be, make sure to download QBN app. All the way at the bottom, there's a consult button. Just go ahead and click it. Follow the instructions. You'll be texting me directly right here to my phone, right here to my phone, and I will be responding to you. Let's go back to the comments, man. Y'all coming in hard. I'm loving this, man. Let's see. We got Miss Marie Forshaw. Is Nuvet better to give once my female has had her puppies? Well, listen, Marie, you asking me, my response is giving Nuvet at all times. Why am I saying this? Well, I have a pregnant female right now, my girl. She's on Nuvet. She's always been on Nuvet, but so is my girl Sunshine. So is my boy Blueberry. Well, of course, my boy Congo, but my girl Ali, my boy Fireball, he's 8.5 years old. He's on Nuvet. This boy Pressure that we produce here, that my guy Michael Higginson has in Creekbank Kennels, this boy doesn't know what is eating without Nuvet. All of our dogs, from the moment they're puppies to before they're bred to during pregnancy, they're on Nuvet and NuJoint DS. Why is that? I'm going to tell you why. Because years ago, I had a litter. I have a video on this. I had a litter, and I took the puppies from raw, like I normally do, and put them on Victor. Because even though a lot of people clap me up and they're, hoorah, you're doing great with raw, they don't have time to feed raw themselves, and they feed kibble. So I'll put the puppies back on kibble when it's time to be picked up and for them to go. What ended up happening was my puppies' joints started popping out of place when they were walking. It was just completely, it was just an emergency in my eyes. So what did I do? Man, I started getting these products together, including pumpkin, butternut squash, vitamin C, vitamins. I mean, I was just putting it all together, reduced the protein, okay, and gave this to one of my females that had it really bad. Within 96 hours, she was back to normal again. that's when I realized, that's when I truly realized how dogs are so responsive to vitamins, minerals, and the lack thereof. I've had a lot of people hit me up talking about allergies, and when I've gotten to the bottom of it, I have found that what it was, and don't take my word for it, I just recently dropped a short about it. By all means, fact check me, go for it by all means. But I will also say, once you fact check me, two things. First, don't take the first Google response, dig a little bit deeper. And second, if I'm right, give me some love. The same way you challenge me, and I'm okay being challenged, give me my flowers when I'm right, okay? Give me my credit. So, let's see. So anyways, my dogs are on Nuvet for all of these reasons right here. First of all, Nuvet, remember I said that girl whose elbows were popping? Well, it clears dietary Easty Westy. For those of you that have American bullies or bully breed dogs, you're going to notice that your puppies will have a lot of muscles and mass. And this muscle and mass actually creates a problem with their joints and tendons and ligaments, right? Because the soft tissue doesn't grow as fast as the bone. So it's another reason I strongly recommend Nuvet and NuJoint DS, because if your minerals are off, the dog's biomechanics are going to be off. It really would suck that you spent all this money on a pup only to damage it, basically, by not knowing really how to feed it, right? You're thinking this 50-pound bag for $20 is a deal, and in reality, you're just destroying your dog. So that's one of my recommendations. The next recommendation is it's 100% natural. In addition to that, it's never been recalled. Look it up, man. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. It has never been recalled, and it's made at human food grade level. So there is feed level and there's human food grade level. One example that I came across about the difference between one and the other is, say there's a cow that's dying. It's got an illness, okay? And you can cook it and try and kill the parasites or whatever it has, right? That particular cow is given as feed. In other words, it'll be whatever, ground it down, chopped up, whatever, cooked, and given to other animals to feed on it. But you cannot sell that by law in the grocery store because it's human food grade, right? In the grocery store. Just throwing that out there. So this is made at human food grade level. This is not made at feed grade level, okay? Leica says, got to join. Thank you for all you do. Number love. Appreciate you. Infamous says, honestly, guys, the membership is worth it. I'm on the mentorship, and when I do use my consults, Raul helps me out a lot. The price he charges is steal for the knowledge. Now, here's what's crazy. This guy up here, Infamous, right? You wouldn't know it unless I tell you. He's all the way in the Mariana Islands, like right next to China. Like, he has set it up for us to do a FaceTime, and it's crazy. The times over there are completely different than here. Number love, man. Infamous, appreciate your support, man. Miss Sarah Bowen says the witch hazel evaporates the water. Yes, this is why I said alcohol and witch hazel. Absolutely. Caleb Weddle, what is going on? Bully Pride Productions, my guy Caleb Weddle. By the way, Mr. Caleb Weddle is a special guest. This guy right here. He's going to be a special guest along with Miss Amanda Jean Dixon and Mr. Bruce Lang. The Tuesday Night Bully Talk crew is coming, and we're going to have a powwow between myself, Michael Higginson. Hell, we'll even let Kyle come out, and we're going to have a powwow of a talk on Monday at 8 p.m. CST. Make sure not to miss it. We got Christian Iraheta. Hey, what are your thoughts on the illegalization roadside puppy sales in Texas? Personally, I think it's best due to the heat. Christian, I couldn't agree with it more. Honestly, I feel that we have advanced so much as a society, to be honest with you, that selling a puppy on the roadside, it's almost like a desperate measure to me in my eyes. First of all, you're getting dogs with no papers most of the time. God knows. It's usually somebody trying to get rid of a litter, an unexpected litter. I mean, let's be honest. So, yeah, no, I agree with it. I think we need to, first of all, take care of the animals. And you're absolutely right. Today, we hit 102 over here in my neck of the woods, September, which is crazy. We didn't break 100 in August. How could it be hotter in September than August? I don't know. But imagine me out in the corner somewhere with some dogs out in the hot sun. You're just begging for something bad to happen, man. So I totally agree with that. In Sarata, my 5-year-old retired Mama Nimbus has a red skin tag on her belly. Not good. It's small, like the size of a normal tick, but what can I do about it? How concerned should I be? Man, look, I'm going to tell you right now, that's one of them things I would go to the vet for, because here's the deal. I could sit here and try to explain to you, is it fully symmetrical? Are the edges smooth, or are you seeing like little ridges and all that? And honestly, bro, I don't want to even hiccup on that. So make sure to take the dog to the vet. Just get that checked out. Leica says green tripe is nasty, but it's so good for them. Yep, you're right about that. Jerry O, Bully Sink, Raul, mi pana, tu has sido lo mejor. I tell people to follow you because it seems to amaze me that people don't know about you and the natural remedies. Well, listen, man, unfortunately, in today's day and age, it's about, maybe if I'm here juggling and making you laugh and giggle, you'll love it even. And, it doesn't matter what information I'm shooting at you. But at the end of the day, I just got to be me, man. And sometimes it just rubs people the wrong way. Just is what it is, man. In Sarata, even the dried tripe sticks stink, but I'm sure they will love them. Yep, you're right about that, man. Lake K4 says, I haven't heard it. I will absolutely take your opinion. If the supplements are better, then that's what I will do. I want my guys to live as long as possible. Yeah, Leica, check it out. Look into it. Now, remember, that's my subjective opinion, and that's the reason why we do it the way we do it. Make sure to check it out. Let me know what you think. All right. Can you use peroxide in the ear? I believe you can, and I have in the past. I just migrated from that, and I'm going to tell you why. Because in my neck of the woods, my problem isn't so much bacteria. Don't get me wrong. I will prepare myself prophylactically, right? So I will make sure, just in case, I will always have a just in case in place. But my bigger problem is always going to be yeast in my area because of the high humidity and heat. That's it. So that's why I migrated more to the water and the vinegar and the astringent. But if you're having a bacterial issue, by all means, I would look into being able to use peroxide. Yes, absolutely. What about beef kidney? I said beef kidney. Yes. Most hated native. I'm going to skip a couple here. Have you dealt with a deaf puppy? What are some of the ethical options? I have 2 puppies that passed their first vet visit, but still ended up to be completely deaf. Most hated. I've never had a completely deaf puppy. Let me ask you, are they Merle, or are they piebald, or are they like heavily white? Let me know. I like to know. Shea Tree says, I have a question about deer. Deer's great. I cooked some ground venison, fed it the next day. My bully had skin raised on her shoulders. I stopped the deer for now, but is that allergic reaction? Yeah, it sounds like it possibly can be. Yeah. Flea allergies similar to food allergies. Yes, flea bite can trigger the body's immune system, which you'll see little spots and all sorts of stuff everywhere. Tahir Ahmed Bana, evening QBNK, Bully fam, what's going on, man? Hope everyone good. Thrilled to catch the live. Number love Tahir. Let me know where you are tuning in from, man. Number love. Sarah Bowen says she downloaded the app. All right, there you go. Mirabel Cruz just ordered my Nuvet Plus and NuJoint DS. There you go. Excellent. NWA, my dude, Joe Church, what's going on, man? What's good, brother Raul? Have a good weekend, brother. Likewise. Nothing but love, man. Grateful for the good advice. Blessings. You got it, man. Let's see. We answer out the okay. Thank you, Raul. I will take Nimbus to the vet. Yeah, it's the best thing. Most hated said pure white. Yep. Look at that. I don't know what his dogs look like, but I knew that we had that going on. Guys, it's really important if you're going to be breeding dogs that are very white, that are merle, or that are piebald, make sure you don't cross these things over, because melanin, which is what gives us skin color, is needed for the ears, the eyes, the heart, the kidney. And when you have too little of it, you could end up with deaf puppies or blind puppies, as you see here, unfortunately. Most hated, I'll be honest with you, man. I would try and see if I could find possibly trainers. Here's the thing. I heard somewhere, I'm not a dog trainer, but I heard that when they lose one sense, the other senses, sight and smell in particular, become stronger. So that's the best I can give you, bro. All the way from South Africa. All right, man. We got South Africa in the house. Raymondville, Texas. All right. Love your videos. Thank you. Connie Lopez. Nothing but love. Shatri says, I fed deer basically her whole life. Why allergic now? I wonder. Definitely no fleas. You know what, Shay? You bring up a good point. I will say this, and it's one of the reasons why I say you can feed deer, but my choice is not to. Why? Ticks. That's why. Ticks, if that deer got bit by ticks and the tick was able to shoot all of it, whatever it's got inside, yeah, that's going to end up translating. So that's the reason why. Let me see. Yeah, and look, Leica is also giving you very good advice. Anytime you get game, whatever it can be a guinea hen, could be deer, could be whatever, you need to freeze it. Now, Leica says 2 weeks. I say no. I say 21 days. Why? Because you're not only after killing the adults, you want to kill the eggs. The eggs have an ability to I don't want to say hibernate. They have an ability to protect themselves, let me put it that way, more than the actual adults. So there you have it. Shay says, even though I'm boiling the meat. Yes, even though you're boiling the meat. I'm just throwing that out there. Is beef cheek treated with antibiotics? Allison Thomas, the entire animal is being treated with antibiotics. Like you're going to shoot it into the animal, its blood, and it's going to become systemic. So yeah. Lizzie Rosario. Lizzie, I'm going to tell you right now, one of the best things that you can do, and I'm going to recommend most of you here, for anything going on with the allergies, guys, the best thing you can do, in my opinion, is mosey on down to our QBNK homepage. And the reason I'm going to tell you to go there is because, in fact, let me see if I can bring it up, is because when you go there, it's, first of all, it's super cool, by the way. But not only that, what's really important about it is, hold on a second, I'm getting you guys there. What's really important about it, when you get to our QBNK homepage here on YouTube, you can literally go here, right, on search and type in allergy. Okay, and hit enter, and look, have at it, man. I mean, it's going to break down videos, shorts. Look, I'm talking about chicken allergies, beef allergies, how to wash the dog, what's in the food. Here I am making those spaceships with garlic. Yeah, I always get people telling me garlic is poisonous for dogs. And my response is, can you please go a little bit further than the first response from Google? Seriously. My dogs have been getting fed garlic now for nearly 9 years. I've been breeding for 10. But my whole point is, whatever you're looking for, you could always go here right there. For example, type in yeast and look, boom, you're going to get, look at that, best anti-yeast shampoo. Stop feeding the yeast inside. Natural yeast and detox dewormer. I mean, I can't make it any easier for you. And in reality, it's actually YouTube, not me. But there you have it. Just make sure you do that. Let me answer some member questions. Deer has been frozen for 6 months. Shay, I don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know if it was there too long. I don't know that deer came in contact with something that it's still there. I don't know. It could also be a coincidence. I don't know what to tell you on that one. Most Hated says, I agree. Pretty sure we're keeping them and do sign training with them is what Most Hated. Yeah, you're definitely going to have to do sign training. But I hear that a lot of deaf dogs are actually trained for seek and rescue. Because their sense of smell just, I guess, becomes stronger. William Fox says, checking in from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Made love and respect. Love the knowledge. Nothing but love, man. Appreciate you. Thank you, guys. Most Hated Native. Yes. Inserata, I get pork ribs for them, but I freeze it 3 or 4 weeks. Yep, that's what I would say. Shay says, I spelled your name wrong. Forgive me. I can't see that great. I spelled it how I hear it. No issues. But listen, guys, we're going to go ahead and call this tonight. Again, we're going live on Monday. I'm actually bringing in the people from Tuesday night Bully Talk. Bully Pride Production, Caleb Weddle, Amanda Jean Nixon, Bruce Lang. We're going to powwow with Michael Higginson, my boy Kyle in the back on Monday. You don't want to miss it. Do me a favor. I know you commented during the live, but I need you to comment as soon as this live is done. Let me know if you like the vertical, the vertical live better than the horizontal. Let me know what I did right. Let me know what I did wrong. And let me know what your suggestions are. Either way, guys, it's been Robert from the Q, and I'll be catching you on the next one.
We are going for a whole hour. Straight dog talk and the song. Jump on in and speculate. Show up on time. Don't be weak and late. We are community, so don't hate.